Hi guys, this is James with UTB. I'm going to talk about some case options that we all have for our BlackBerry Priv. I've got 9 different cases here. Some of them are, one of them is not advertised as specifically for the Priv. It's more of a generic style, holster case, but the others are designed specifically for the Priv. Some of them BlackBerry logoed, some of them not. And, I thought I'd just give you a quick overview of each and what I think the strengths and weaknesses are, and then you guys can decide, what you want to do. So let's look at the BlackBerry logo cases first. So this is the BlackBerry softshell pouch. The texture is different this time. I've had the pouches for my Q10, my Z30, and for my my classic, and this one is a new feel. This is actually it's called Nappa leather, N-A-P-P-A. If it was Nappa N-A-P-A, it would be real soft leather, but this is Nappa, which is not real leather. It's still soft, which personally suits me better. But it's got a different feel to it, but it works fine. I like it because it gets really flat when you take your device out. You can actually put it in your back pocket, and it's gone. It's essentially gone. It allows you, it slips in. It has the magnet in it, so it turns your screen off. It has a space here to put your charging port in, your slim port, and actually in the back it has a little place for business cards, which I think is kind of cool. One thing I like about it, it's very easy to get your Priv out. Some of the cases are better made than others. So some of these pouches I've had in the past. The best one I've ever used is the Q10. It's just got the perfect amount of grip. It's sort of just the perfect amount of pull to pull it out and push it in, and it stays secure. I'm not sure this will. So this seems to be staying secure. The stitching is on the outside and it sort of protrudes, unlike some of the others. The others were stitched differently, so they were more smooth. It's a good case. I'm satisfied with it. It does have the little, what would I call this? The little little hole here, so you can see your lights. So if you have any notifications, and it's got the little red mark. They always put that little red stitch on there. I like it, and I like the fact that I can leave it in overnight and put my charging port on. That's a first. I've never had any other pouches that allow you to do that. And I like it because at night I like to put it in here, and I guess maybe it's paranoia, but I like the fact that my camera lenses are covered, and so when I sleep at night. So anyway, to me it's a recommended case from BlackBerry. The next case I want to review is another BlackBerry logo case, although this one doesn't have the BlackBerry bullets on it. This is the what do they call this? The bookcase. Okay, by BlackBerry. It does have the BlackBerry logo in the back. Priv fits in here very easily. So now it's in. Got some very interesting things about it. My Priv right now is locked. Okay, I've got my I use picture password, and I've got my, I think it's 10 minutes of inactive time, and it locks. So in any event, when you close this case, the window allows you does special things with your notifications. It does have the hole there so you can see if your light's blinking. But if you swipe up, you see right now, I can see the time. If this had timed out, if I tapped it, it would show me this screen right here. And if you swipe up, you can see your notifications in turn. So the only things I have right now are my weather apps going. ESPN sent me something about the Kansas City Royals player, which I really don't care. So I actually swiped that out of there. Manny Machado makes embarrassing bad decision. I don't want to read that either because I love the Orioles. But in any way, so Regrand is working, BlackBerry Privacy Shades are working, etc. So these are my notifications, though, and you can work with them a little bit. You can swipe them out of the way, and you can see them in it, which is really neat for me at work because I pull my phone out of my back pocket, and just by tapping on the screen, I wake up now my screen's off. Just by tapping on my screen, I wake up my screen. I can see if I have anything new that's come in, and I can just swipe up and see what that stuff is. I think it's very clever, very cool. And it actually is a feature of this case. So that's really cool. It's the same NAPPA leather, Nappa leather, which means it's fake leather, but it's soft. Of course, it allows you to take pictures in the back. One thing about this, which I don't like over the still gut, the still guts are a little bit nicer because they fold really flat. This doesn't fold quite as flat. It's not really a one-handed device when you have this case on. It's a two-handed device. You really have to, I have not been able to figure out how to type really easily with either hand by having this case on. It's a little clumsy. It doesn't lay really flat. I have the Z30 still gut, and I have a still gut for my Classic, and both of them have a flap in the middle here that's very thin, and it just sort of lays really flat, and you can almost use it one-handed pretty easy. So this doesn't have that, but I still use this case. I still like it. It does protect the I feel like it offers some decent protection, not from really big drops, but I like being able to set it down or face up, however I want it, and not worry about it, so that I can do that. And as I said, the notification feature with this window is really slick. And then, of course, you can charge your phone or whatever. You have access to every button except for the power button here on the other side. So that, I think, is also a recommended case, and as you can see, it pops in and out very easily. So the last BlackBerry logo case I have today is the BlackBerry hard shell. Now, I only have one of them. There are two options. One comes with a kickstand, and one comes without a kickstand. Sometimes, to review this case, it may be helpful to differentiate it, compare and contrast it with the Seidio, a similar case by Seidio, which comes with a holster. This does not come with a holster. This will not fit your Seidio holster. I've tried that. I've gotten away with using the Seidio holster with the Seidio Surface case, that holster that comes with it. I've used that with other style cases. Like, for instance, I'll tell you this. Here's a Seidio, Surface and the Seidio holster. When I put my Priv in this Incipio, which I'll tell you about in a minute, I can use this holster. So that I like that sometimes. But in any event, I've gotten away with it. You cannot use the BlackBerry case with the Seidio. It won't fit. So, but I like this case. I'll show you how you put it on. It's fairly easy. Pop it in. And then this, you can just start on one side or the other. Pick your side. Oops, what did I do wrong here? Excuse me. It's usually, actually, this has never happened until I started filming. In any event, okay. So it's much easier than this typically. Let's see here. All right. So now it is installed. One thing about it, I do like the fact it's got the little BlackBerry. Anytime I can get the bullets, I like it. I'm a fan here, so I'm proud to use the BlackBerry and have the bullets on there. You know, it's very similar in design to the Seidio. You know, slide up. I think people have complained about the slide mechanism being harder to use when you put this kind of case on, whether it's the Seidio or the BlackBerry. I've seen online. I don't have any problem. It does make it a tiny bit harder, but personally, it doesn't matter to me. Maybe it's a guy-girl thing. I don't know, but whatever. I think there were some girls complaining. But there is one thing about it. See how you don't know if you can see, but it sits up a little high here. There's no way I can figure out how to make it not sit up high. The Seidio does not do that. It's flush. So that's just part of the case. The case, I will admit, does feel a little bit more flimsy than the Seidio. Actually, I don't know if I'm pronouncing Seidio correctly, but whatever. But I like the case. I like using it. It's a little smaller than the Seidio. It's a little bit more narrow and just a slightly slimmer profile, so when you put it in your pocket, it's a little bit better in and out of your pocket. So when I don't want to use a holster, but I want a little protection, I like to be able to sit my phone face down. I saw on Jury Rig Everything, it's a YouTube channel, that the lens on the camera for the Priv, which is an outstanding camera, is less scratch resistant than the screen. So I try not to set it down on the back of it ever. So anyway, that's the BlackBerry hard shell. I like it. It's a recommended purchase. You know, whenever you're using a case like this, whether it's the Seidio or the BlackBerry, and I assume this applies also to the other BlackBerry hard shell, which I assume is exactly the same, except it doesn't have this, the kickstand. You give up just a little bit of that top row space, just a tiny bit, because it just overhangs over the screen where it slides at the bottom. So it's something you get used to. I personally, it doesn't bother me. I have no problem typing on the top row. I use the physical keyboard a lot. I use it probably half and half. You know how you can go in and look at the settings and see whether you're using the virtual or the visual more, or the physical. But So it doesn't bother me, but in any event, that might be an issue for some people. So I recommend this case. I love it, and give it a shot. Okay, since we just talked about the Seidio, or excuse me, the BlackBerry hard shell, let's talk about the Seidio. Seidio is very similar in construction. They both have you know, a piece that goes over the screen, and then the bottom piece, and they both have, mine at least, they both have the kickstand in the back. The material is different on the Seidio. You know, they make a nice case. I've been a fan of theirs for quite some time, and thank God they're still making cases for BlackBerries. I don't know about the DTEC 60 or the key one, but in any event, they make a nice case. I have to admit, this is much higher quality than the BlackBerry, but it is a little bit wider. Maybe not wider, it just feels wider. It's not physically wider, but it feels wider somehow. This case feels slimmer, and I know that's silly to say because I'm looking at it now and it doesn't, and it's not. In any event, it has a nice feel to it. The BlackBerry version is a little more slippery. So you know, the material you use, you want it to work all year round, and there's times when your hands are cold, and that's a different problem to solve. And then there's times when your hands are slippery, when they're wet, when they're very hot, and you're sweating. So a case like this seems to work better on either instance than the BlackBerry, which works really well when your hands are warm and grippy. But when they're cold, it's really hard to, it's not as easy to grip. So in any event, I'll put my Priv in here. Okay, it's very easy. Just pop it in. Let's see if I can do this with a little more grace than I did with the BlackBerry version. Just pop it to the side here. Okay, so now it's on. Slide the slider up. As I said, it's very smooth on the top here. The BlackBerry sticks up a little bit. Everything feels quality. It's good case. Very, very good case. And of course, you do get the traditional Seidio holster if you want, which has different positions. And I really like the way Seidio does their holsters with this part here. I think it's superior to the OtterBox, which they didn't make one for the Priv, but I've had many OtterBox cases too. And when you get the, I don't remember the Seidio version where it's this case and you put it inside of another case, which is like more rubber, etc. And then the OtterBox Defender competes. I've always liked the Seidio versions better. Their holsters are very nice and they work well. In any event, I definitely recommend this case. I like the anti-slip. It does have the sleep-wake function in the holster, which is cool. And so to me, this is, and the kickstand's actually very nice. It's kind of like a brushed aluminum kind of feel. So this to me is also a recommend. Okay, so I'll do another Seidio that I have, and this is going to be the Seidio. They call it the Seidio spring clip holster, which is designed to use your Priv naked. And I do enjoy carrying my Priv naked. I love this carbon fiber kind of feel. They started it on my first BlackBerry I've had it on was the battery cover in the back for the old Bold 9900 from Verizon. Had a similar kind of thing. And then with the Q10 I got, it had the same thing, but it was a little bit nicer. I love this grip. To me, this is the best grip combination for cold or when your hands are wet. Very grippy. I love having it, and I like carrying it naked sometimes because it's nice and thin and small, and I love the style of this phone. I truly do. The only problem when I carry it naked is I feel like I can't. I already have this the minutest little, teeniest little thing on my screen here, and it aggravates the hell out of me. But what are you gonna do? But I don't like setting it on its face. But that's kind of what preferable to me than setting it on the back where the camera lens is. So that's the only reason I don't like to carry naked. But when you're going to carry naked, if you want to use a nice holster, this is the Seidio spring clip holster. It's very, very good. I love the retention is excellent on this one and the other one for the Seidio hard shell, or whatever they call them. Sorry, the Surface. So they do a good job on the spring clip and the belt clip, and they also do a good job on this part here that holds the phone in. It's a great. I love their holsters. They do a very good job, and this fits perfectly. You cannot fit anything on this case. You cannot fit anything on this phone and still fit the phone in here. It just absolutely won't go. It's actually designed to fit perfectly. So you can even have your headphones in if you want to wear. You're going to be using this, so everything fits well. I definitely recommend the spring clip holster by Seidio. All right, so the next one I'm going to do is it's an Incipio. I can't remember what they call this. I got it from Amazon. I'll put it in the article. Okay, when I write. It's an Incipio case. It's very clear, TPU kind of feel to it, right? It's got a very nice feel. Phone goes in very easily. It does add a little grip. It adds a little protection if it bangs. It's got protection all the way around. It does not really have protection for the screen. So it offers minimal protection and a little extra grip. The thing is, and it does allow you to see the bullets. It comes in different colors. I can't remember, but I like the clear. The thing is and it doesn't make it any harder to slide open the slider, to slide up the screen, to get at the physical keyboard. There's other cases really make it just a tiny bit harder, the Seidio and the BlackBerry case, but the thing I'm trying to get to is sometimes I get hot, my hands are a little sweaty or whatever, this case gets slippery, okay? So this is much better use when your hands are cold in terms of the grip. You can deal with it, but that does sometimes, I'll pop my phone out, when I just feel like my hands are too slick. So, but anyway, I do recommend this case. I do like the style of it, and it does offer some protection. I think this is smoke. It's not clear because it's actually got a little, you look through it, maybe you can't see from there, but it's got a little gray hue to it. It's a really nice case. I do like it. I do recommend it. But I will tell you that your hands, if they're very, very, very warm and a little slick, your hands get slippery. When your hands are cool or just normal, it definitely adds a little grip and a little protection. And I'll go ahead and do one more in this same little segment here. I honestly don't remember what this one is, but I'll tell you in the body of the blog here. This one is even smaller than the Incipio. Very small, offers just a modicum of protection in case you drop your Priv, which I have not done, thank God, except for very small distances, and never on the concrete or never on a sidewalk or a street. In any event, it offers just a little grip. It's very similar material to the Incipio. In that when your hands are warm and wet, this case sort of defeats the traction. But I do like it. It is small. It is very thin, very lightweight. This won't even work with the Seidio spring clip holster if you're thinking it won't. Okay, FYI. But it will work with this, which is another one I'm going to do shortly. Well, maybe I'll just go ahead and do this now. I carry this sometimes. If I just want a nice case that makes a decent presentation, and I don't remember the name of this one either. It's a magnetic closure, but I bought it also on Amazon, so I'll get all the details and put it in the blog and the text of the blog. But I do recommend this one too. I don't like leather, but I think it's pleather or a fake leather, which is my personal preference. The Priv fits in there with this. It even fits in there with the Incipio, right? Or it fits in naked. Naked, it's just got a little bit extra play, as you can imagine, if it fits in with these two cases. Okay, but it does fit. So it'll fit a little. It probably will fit the BlackBerry case, maybe. I don't know that I'm really worried about that. But it has a metal clip on the back covered in this pleather material, and it also has the ability you can put your belt through these two loops if you want it more secure in your belt. So I like it. I like it sometimes. It's dark. It doesn't show very well, depending on what if you're wearing a suit or something, and you can fit your phone in there, naked or with a little bit of protection on it, and so that definitely has some utility. And it's definitely a recommend. And as I said, I'll give you the details in the body of my note. I'm going to do one more case now. This is my last case. This is the only one I'm not recommending. I really don't like this at all. This is similar to what I used to get from Verizon. I had one for my Bold 9900. I had one for my Q10, and both of those were really well designed and they were well made. They offered a little grip. It was a very nice grip material. It was somewhat similar to the feel of the Seidio. The material must have been similar, but this one's textured, right? It has the ability to put a kickstand down. You can put it landscape or portrait, right? Which is cool. And if the phone fits in there, but here's why I don't recommend it, for a couple reasons. One, the ridge is very high. Now I like the fact that it has a ridge because you can set your phone screen down, right, and you have some protection. If there's a little dust or whatever, which I'm convinced that's how I got my tiny, tiny, tiny little mark on my screen. But when you slide the screen up and you go to use the physical keyboard, these ridges are really high, and it's just a pain. When I want access to my buttons, I can still type, but my thumbs have to sort of negotiate the edge of the case to get to the physical buttons along the edges. If you're just typing in, if you're just using it with your virtual keyboard, it's no problem. But with the physical keyboard, it's no fun. So that to me is the primary reason why I don't recommend it. I never use it. It does fit in nice and tight. The other thing I don't like about it is the belt. The belt clip is sturdy. It's definitely sturdy, and it gives you the chance to wear it however you want on your belt. But the other thing I don't like about it, and it does hold the phone well. Okay, it's very secure. I don't think it's probably not as secure as the it's not as secure as the Seidio, but doesn't even have the on-off feature. This case is so similar to the ones I used to get. It used to be the Verizon. If you went on the Verizon website, it would say Verizon OEM, but they always had the magnet here and the ability to turn the screen off. So I don't know why they didn't add that to this particular case, but it's a little annoying. And that, coupled with the fact that I don't like how high this is, and why couldn't they have cut down a little so that you can get access to the physical keys, and they could have left two little parts of this at the end, high, and then cut down a little, so that you can have access to the keys, and they didn't do that. You put a lot of thought into it, I guess, whatever. But so I don't recommend this case, but those are the reasons why. You might still want to use it, It's got a decent texture. It does offer some protection. It has a nice holster and the kickstand. So, and I will include in the body of my note what the name of that is. So, that's a number of cases for the Priv. I hope you got something out of this. 9 cases. All the ones that I have, I'm a kind of a case junkie, and even though I do carry my Priv naked sometimes, I hope that that helps you to make a decision if you want to purchase a case. Thanks a bunch.